Well, it's always a pleasure to welcome a new sponsor to Property Tribes, and joining me now is Andy Smith, Head of Recruitment for Belvoir franchise and a new sponsor of our entrepreneurial tribe. So welcome, Andy. It's so great to have you on board. And I think there's a very nice synergy here because landlords, by their very nature, are quite entrepreneurial.
Yes.
And I think, you know, it's quite a natural step for a landlord to consider becoming a letting agent.
I agree. When you have a knowledge of property or an understanding of it, and certainly an interest in it, and landlords typically like, of course, to make money out of property, this is a really good avenue for them to pursue.
It is indeed, and I think also if you're thinking about getting involved in property and perhaps you don't have a massive deposit, actually the franchise route could be a way to start a property related business, get to know the sector, and then actually build up your deposit from running a business. And I think that's something that landlords will be looking at more in the future because it is harder to recycle deposits.
Yeah, we have quite a few examples of that actually. People who've come into the business and ended up buying quite large property portfolios. And we have some very interesting franchise owners with sizable property portfolios that they run, of course, within a business designed to do exactly that.
Quite. Well, it makes sense really as well if you want to get involved in a sector to really immerse yourself. And the franchise route obviously has advantages to kind of trying to go it alone.
Yes, the basic support is the most important part. Knowing what to do next, making sure that you're safe. If you go into this sort of marketplace on your own and don't have the expertise to understand exactly what you need to do, because there are always new laws coming into play, then you can get caught out very quickly. And unfortunately, the penalties for getting caught out are quite severe. So going down a line where you're supported, people are looking after you, making sure that you're compliant with all legislation all the time, is not only good for you, of course, it's good for your customers.
Absolutely. And I think you said off camera to me, it's the most regulated yes. business, and it's absolutely right. And I think it's becoming more regulated as we go forwards, and to be up to date with that through the support of the franchise is obvious benefit.
Yes, actually it's the most regulated, unregulated business. It's the other way around. The route that people can follow coming through a franchisor like us and actually entering into this business is exciting, because in actual fact you get to concentrate on the important bits, which are going out there, seeing your customers, looking after them, giving them the high level of customer service that a lot of landlords aren't experiencing at the moment. You can make a real difference.
Very good point, very good point. Now there's two key towns that you're interested in recruiting in.
Yes.
Tell us where they are and why.
Bristol is the first one. It's I don't quite know why we haven't got somewhere in Bristol already. It's a really very quickly developing area of the country, and one we're excited to look at this minute in time. And the figures that we look at for a territory down there are simply exceptional. And another one that mirrors it more or less is Bradford. It's staggering that we have very successful businesses in Leeds, Manchester and all around, but nothing actually in Bradford itself. And yet the basic demographics of home ownership and letting, particularly in Bradford, are spectacular for a business like ours.
Fantastic. So really, just to conclude, there's great opportunity at the moment in the letting space, and we particularly identified that Belvoir are interested in Bristol and Bradford. If a landlord is interested in exploring this avenue and they'd like to work with you, what's the actual process?
The first thing really is just to contact us, ask questions. We'll arrange to have a one-to-one meeting. We hold discovery days that are always on a one-to-one basis. We'll explore to make sure that Belvoir is actually right for them. What they want to achieve is something that we can actually provide and help with. And after that, of course, it's just a matter of continuing with the due diligence, making sure that everything's in play, they understand what they're getting into thoroughly, and that they can see a way forward, because our business has to match their aspirations. And if it does, the results can be spectacular. If it doesn't, then they really can't go ahead, and we'll prevent that to make sure that they remain safe and doing the right thing for them.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your input, Andy. Pleasure. And it's great to have Belvoir on board sponsoring our entrepreneurial tribe. And Belvoir are going to be contributing to the discussions and answering questions and everything, and really help landlords see the opportunities.
Yes, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Andy.